welcome to Start With The Facts. Yo, welcome back to Start With The Facts. Well, we were doing the second intro because I messed up.
I can't.
It wasn't Will today.
I can't let you. That boy want job security. Okay.
Hey,
Go.
Hey, normally Will is messing up on the intro and something, but I messed up today. So, like I tell DJ, editorial control, I had to tell Will and say, hey, man, well, let's edit that out and start this thing over. But happy Thursday, man. We're one day closer to the weekend, one day closer to college football, one day closer to professional football. So it means we'll have more to say. We'll have our picks in for the show tomorrow. So if you choose to gamble on any platform, come and get your information from here. Last week I did a bunch of winning, so I will brag about that. I won with college, I won with professional, and all the other guys, they kind of won, but I just won a little bit more. And so thank you all for joining us. Those who are, this is their first time, we appreciate our viewership growing. And for those who are here for the first time, I'll introduce everybody on the show. We have my man Alex Allen to the left. We have my man Brian Inkra to the right, and then down in sunny South Florida, who everybody always talks about. And I see you with my man Malachi Tony shirt on, representing for the young guy, DJ Williams. And so from there, we'll pitch it over to my man Brian, and you get the show started.
All right. So appreciate everybody. We're going to start with James Franklin. If anybody's following college sports, obviously everybody knows after 11 and a half season, James Franklin has been let go from Penn State. Still a lot to talk about. You know, there's new information that comes out every day, and I promise you, one of the four of us are probably going to get a spin on this that you have not heard from any other outlet. So curious to get everybody's feedback. Just as a reminder, his record at Penn State, he's 104 and 45, 70% win percentage, you know, pretty successful, but didn't meet Penn State's expectations. So who wants to jump into this one first?
Oh,
yeah, man, go ahead.
Oh, I'll go first. Man, this is the new era of college football where nobody has patience. Mm-hmm. And everybody has money and they're throwing it around. And when you start throwing a ton of money around, you don't have the same leash that you had on people before, where like they'll figure it out. And they gave him Jim Knowles, who was Ohio State's defensive coordinator last year. They've bolstered and brought back a number of pieces from the roster from last year, similar to what Ohio State did when they were going to win when we went to win the championship last year. And from what they looked at, they was like, man, you know, we lose to UCLA, and DJ gave every stat in regards to them not ever being ahead. They lose to Northwestern, and they had lost the whiteout to Dan Lanning. And somebody in the Board of Trustees office, or somebody from an administrative standpoint, had to ask themselves and say, is this thing going to get better faster? But his winning record against top 20 teams or top 5 teams was like 1-15, mm-hmm. and they just had to be honest with themselves. And they said, hey, man, let us cut bait because we have to get into the market to look for somebody in regards to what the future looks like. And when you have all of these premier jobs, Oklahoma State, Virginia Tech, and just these openings, it looks like Florida's going to open up with Billy Napier. People are probably asking, like, man, we don't want to be in the market late with trying to pursue another coach. We don't want to be in a situation with recruits where we don't have the guy that we want to bring more recruits in. And it basically came down to that. NIL makes a completely different landscape in this day and age for college sports. And you could be at Virginia Tech and get the right NIL situation, and you can become competitive. And so I'm pretty sure that everybody's thinking about this. And so he got let go because I think when they go into this coaching run, they want to be competitive with who they choose, and they want to get the right guy. So much success in moving forward, but I don't feel sorry for a man who's about to make $50 million for not coaching.
Yep.
So the interesting thing about the $50 million without coaching, I think is in his contract, he has to go out and look for a job. That job has to pay him at least $8 million. If the job pays him $8 million, then Penn State, they say they'll cover
have to pay the difference. Yes.
Yeah, they'll pay the difference. But if he doesn't, then they got to pay him that full amount. So I thought that was interesting.
Hold on, Alex.
Yeah.
So you're saying that he has to try to mitigate his? Wait, are you saying that he has to try to find a job?
Yeah, so it's either in media, I believe, or
in media or coaching.
Or coaching, yes. Yep. So he said he has to find a job that pays him at least $8 million, and then Penn State will pay the difference. And if
so
not,
what if he doesn't? If let's say he just want to go sit, if he just want to go sit on the couch, is he going to receive all the money?
Yeah, but you got to have a.
No, he has to. He has to. What he's saying is that he has to go look for a job either in coaching or in media. And if it doesn't come up, if he does get a job and he does get approved, and it doesn't come up to $8 million, they have to then cover the difference. But he has to actively go pursue another job.
So if he does, then Penn State is off the hook. Let's say whoever wants to give him $10 million, is Penn State off the hook?
Yes.
Yeah, and if he goes to Florida and Florida gives him $7 million, Penn State's on the hook for $1 million. So he's making $8 million as long as he attempts to go out and do the bare minimum, look for a job.
Right. At the end of the day, you got to win games. That's what it comes down to. I mean, you covered a lot of it, but the big thing about him is he wasn't winning the big games, and then that doesn't happen, then you're gone. You get on that hot seat quick, and you continue to lose to teams that are bad. It's not even a big team or a big game and a ranked opponent. Yeah, you're gone. So simple as that.
Yeah, this is Curt Cignetti's fault. Everybody thinks because Curt Cignetti did it at lowly Indiana that we can just go fire James Franklin and we have more money than Indiana. We have a bigger alumni base. We're renovating our stadium. We have all these
$700 million.
So because Indiana could do it right now, so can we. I mean, Penn State's a great program, but Penn State is not Ohio State. They are not Michigan. I don't think they're Oregon. I actually don't know that they're USC.
You mean on the talent level?
The bar is so high at Penn State. I don't think any coach is going to meet their expectations personally. So I mentioned Curt Cignetti jokingly saying it's his fault. He's not going to Penn State.
No.
Dude makes $8 million a year at Indiana.
Yes.
Why would he is a hero. All he had to do at Indiana was make a couple bowl games, and he was going to continue to get extended. And Curt Cignetti's like 63 years old or something.
He'll retire from there,
right? So why would people chase new positions and take risk when you go from making $4 million a year to $7, $8, or $9 million a year? You don't take that kind of risk with unreasonable expectations and leave an Indiana job for $8 million and go to Penn State to make $9 million. You just don't do it. No. And you don't do it for 10 and you don't do it for 11.
A lot of pressure.
I'd be shocked if Curt Cignetti left Indiana to go chase this Penn State job.
What about Matt Rule? That's another name that's out there floating.
What the hell has Matt Rule done?
He's brought programs up. Now, it's not like crazy, but I know he was at Temple, brought them up. What's the other school? I'm missing. Baylor. And then now he's at Nebraska.
And that's why I'm going to repeat. What the hell has he done?
Yeah, I'm just saying his name just floating.
I think it's more because he's an alumni.
Yes, that's what it is. He met his wife there. He's an alumni. He's got ties there. It's appealing. Of course, he would want it. Now, if Penn State will pull that trigger.
No, for what they're paying, I think they're going to go. I think they're looking at Ohio State and the success we've had, and they say, "Hey, man, you want to go get Chip Kelly? You want to go get Matt Patricia? I'm about to take the route of going to get a great displaced college coach." Because think about this, right? I don't know the money that's made in the NFL, but when you can pay somebody $15 million, you can convince somebody to come play, participate, and entertain the college area. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Or you could have been a great guy in the NFL and where a guy would probably shunned it before. $15 million is a lot of money. Just even that bucket of $8 to $15 million for like a legitimate coach, man, fuck that. Like you can get somebody good.
It seems like Penn State likes the coordinators at Ohio State, and I know one of the names floating around was Brian Hartline. We don't got to get into it, but I thought that was interesting to hear that. Like, maybe they might do something like that. And I know he's looking for a head coaching job. He was doing something like that last year. Was in the media, but if they get an Ohio State staff, do you think that could change the what's going on in Penn State from winners? You pulling from winners.
Yeah, I think. He will be a great head coach. I don't know. You probably can't comment, so I'm going to comment on it. Yeah, he will be a great head coach someday, but he's been calling plays. The most responsibility he's had is
that makes sense.
Calling plays now for about 7 weeks. So do you let go of James Franklin to chase the next, Lane Kiffin, Kirby Smart, Dan Lanning, these coordinators and giving them a head coaching opportunity? I don't know. Probably not. I think they're going to go with somebody who's more proven, but I just think Penn State's in a tough spot. And DJ, I'm sorry, we have.
No, it's all good.
You've been sitting
I'm listening
patiently waiting to speak up.
I just want to bring up a point why I think all of this is happening, and we're going to continue to see it happen, right? And this is the biggest problem in this college NIL era is the players have too much power. So you ask yourself, okay, why are these universities willing to cut ties with these coaches, with these huge buyouts? Before, kids could not transfer. There was no portal. So when you have a situation like Penn State, this season is just not going to affect, what we currently see. This will affect the next 2 to 3 years. So if it's not good now, the shit's going to get worse, because what's going to happen is if they were to keep them, you'd have a huge percentage of their superstar, 5-star athletes transferring to the Ohio States, going to the Indianas, going to all of these other universities. Then you would have a lot of other guys decommit. So what's happening now is these universities are like, oh shit, it's so bad that it's going to affect the program for the next 3 to 4 years. How are we going to recover from this, right? And you see that FSU gave Novell another opportunity, but, as this continues to play out, I guarantee FSU is going to say shit. When they went, no. When we went 2-10 last year, what the fuck were we thinking, right? And so because these kids have so much power, that's what's making the leash shorter for the coaches. Because again, if the program stinks and there's a lot of negative press about your head coach in the media, you have these 17, 18-year-old kids hearing that and simply saying, I'm going to the competitor. And then you have the guys on the best guys on the active roster saying, I'm out of here too. And so now you have to make that move. And then that's your new pitch. Hey, we got Signetti, even though he's not going. We got this new guy. He's coming in. We're rebuilding the program. So it's all a part of your new, I would say, recruiting pitch.
Yeah, a lot to be said. You guys have you've been reading about it, any predictions, or you guys want to go out on a limb and guess? Make an educated guess, a bold pick who you think will be their next head coach?
My bold take is that it will be somebody from the NFL ranks, because I think that there's, from watching Chip Kelly and from watching Matt Patricia, this is turning into professional football. And just a lot of college guys just don't have professional experience. And I think that you want those professional brains inside of your facility. And you're talking about somebody who can afford, just think about this. You can afford a NFL head coach, right? And so that just opened, we're looking at the collegiate level, right? Am I going to go take this unproven guy, that worked before, but am I going to go pay a premium for somebody who I know what's going on, where this entire game is going, and who has experience being successful? And I'm going to get the professional guy. That's just my opinion. I think that they go get a professional guy.
I think we'll see less and less guys going backwards, because again, the difference between the NFL and college is you don't have to recruit, right? You draft a guy, I want you, you're coming to my program. So with all the uncertainty, damn.
Uncertainty.
With all that going on, I think it's a bigger risk to jump into the collegiate market. Now, you will see situations. Hold on, no. You will see situations like Patricia. Listen, when you're a coordinator, the responsibility, it isn't as much as when you're the head ball coach, right? So when it comes to being a head ball coach, right? Look, right now the greatest coach in the history of football has failed, Belichick, right? He has failed tremendously, and I think the fact of how bad that he's failed, I think that's going to scare off a lot of NFL coaches from going there, because again, you can kind of float around in that NFL and still get the same money, right? But what will rarely happen is you go from the NFL, go to college, stink it up, right? Don't perform, and then get back in the NFL. You go down to college, you stink that shit up. It's a wrap. You're trying to retire.
One thing I think just may be inaccurate, or it's just an old way of thinking. The recruiting thing that you're talking about is not as prevalent anymore. And what I mean by that is that you now have general managers and staffs who do the mass majority of that. For the most part, Ryan Day isn't recruiting, or Kirby Smart probably isn't recruiting. They'll have guys who come to the facility and they take the pictures, and probably for a premier guy, they'll have to go chase them. But for the most part, these head coaches don't do any recruiting. And the fact that you have these transfer portals, they treat that more like free agency, where before you're talking about let me go get him and let me go get him. That's more oriented like the NFL. That's where I say where before a coach could have been saying like, man, I don't want to be doing recruiting. Well, there's not a ton of recruiting. And I paralleled that with Rick Pitino when he was talking about with basketball. He's like, man, we don't recruit high school kids anymore. I'll go get a second or third year point guard who has, 80, 90 games, who's going to be a lot more developed physically, and he'll take me on a championship run deep into the tournament. And so I think like college has become that. That's like my statement in regards to
it's a big open market free agency.
Yeah, yes,
and you're approaching a much more mature player that understands my draft stock automatically goes up if I'm attached to Ohio State, if I'm attached to University of Miami, if I'm attached to Georgia, if I'm attached to these big time programs.
So I'll give you this, right? So I was with the defensive coordinator the old guy Josh, who used to be the defensive coordinator of the Dolphins. He's literally sitting here and evaluating talent from all of these guys who are in the portal or talking about going in the portal. Man, he's not even talking about high schoolers. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And this is at Ohio State because they're only thinking about going on a championship run. That's why I say, and I'm belaboring the point, but like I'm just trying to give my thoughts in regards to like why I thought the way I'm thinking.
Yep.
I give you my two coaches. One of them was way out here. I'm gonna say Fran Brown. Probably not likely, but I think that'd be cool. And the other one that I'm saying is probably not likely, but it would be cool as well is Urban Meyer. I know he's been floating around. You got to think he's been retired. He came back and he won. He retired. Who says he doesn't come back and win again? So
I think they led with integrity as one of the
cornerstones in their press conference. That Urban Meyer,
sure, but he's a winner, right?
He's a 100% winner.
Listen,
100% a winner. All right. Also in the news, 5-star Ohio State commit Jameer Brown out of Dayton, Ohio. He's making the news. Some states allow high school athletes to make NIL money. Some states it's unrestricted. Others have heavy restrictions. Ohio and several others, high school athletes are not allowed to make NIL money. Not yet. Jameer Brown out of Dayton is fighting that along with his mother to open up the doors to allow high school athletes to make money off their name, image, and likeness. What do you guys think? Slippery slope, good idea, or you can't put the genie back in the bottle? What are your thoughts?
I think it's a great idea. Only because everybody else is doing it. There's only 6 states who doesn't do it, in Ohio as one of them. So when you think about how college is, and you can jump in a portal and leave, not saying that's high school, but if an athlete is coming up and saying, man, these guys can get paid in other states. I can't get paid here in Ohio. I might as well go into another state and play and possibly, get paid. There's so many ways around that. You can.
Well, that's already happening. I mean, you see Ohio talent actually leaving to go to high school in Florida, California,
and your whole family doesn't have to move. That's what I mean. There's so many ways around that. So you can go to Miami, you can go to Florida, get an NIL deal, and give it back to your family back home, and it helps them. But where's the pride in that? If I'm in Ohio, I want to play in Ohio. I want to play in front of my people I grew up with, the people who supported me. And so Ohio need to go ahead and what's up, man? So Ohio need to go ahead and pick that up. Sorry, go ahead.
There are. I'm gonna just add, and I'll let you keep going. There are some states like Missouri where they have carve-outs where if you are going to go to an in-state institution, it opens it up for you for NIL. So as we had these topics, I did some research and I found out like Missouri is like, okay, Missouri is one of those states that do not allow NIL. And then what they did is they kind of put a carve out. The biggest issue is there's no continuity across the board.
Just so I'm clear, so you're saying that if you're a high school student in Missouri and you're going to go to the University of Missouri, they allow you to then get NIL?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah. I just want to throw that in there. My bad, Alex.
I didn't even.
So as I was doing the research, it was like some is just do whatever you want. Some is you can bring in all the money you want. Some is like we don't really have rules. It's not allowed, but we ain't going to police it. And then I found, there were a handful of states where they've kind of had these unique carve-outs. And when I saw that carve-out, I thought it was unique because I was like, you speak about pride and things like that. We always talk about who's the big dogs in football. Like, just imagine what college football would look like if you only could play for your state. Like, that would be crazy.
Mm-hmm. Be good for you. That'd be good
I'm from California. You know that, right?
Well, no, I'm talking Miami, Florida.
Okay. No, but I'm from Cali.
I know, Sacramento.
I'm a
you
hurricane. Hey, you understand? I got
scared.
some of my people out here. I get the banging on you. All right, my bad, Alex. My bad.
No,
I
you good.
apologize.
That's all I have for real. Yeah. So
Well, how about with kids, AAU travel sports? You know, it starts getting into the high school ranks, right, where you can make NIL money. Parents start seeing their kids not as a way for them to maybe make money once they get into the pros. Now you can do it in college, right? Then can you do it in high school? Do you think that changed this AAU travel ball like intensity even beyond where it's at now?
I keep on telling you, like, this is like a dinosaur conversation. The fact that we're even having it, like, yo, like, you can make money in tennis, you can make money in golf, you can make money in all of these other sports. But when we seem to talk about football or basketball in general, we just have like this dinosaur conversation. I actually enjoy the fact that kids can make money because I just don't think people understand the amount of hours that goes into preparation, to transportation, to youth sports, to buying equipment, to, you know, and I don't have kids right now who's within that age range what my daughter went through. My daughter's 19 now, and she went through the gauntlet of just how the investment into sports, right? And I always come back to this, like, why do people care? Like, if I was sitting on a board of some sorts and they said a kid can make money for their talents, like, I would not care. I'd be like, all right, you can make money for talents. Or if Alex has a company and he wants to sponsor my daughter or my son for whatever reason, I don't know why people care. And my mind goes into 1,000 different directions. But to me, this is an old conversation. If a kid has value, if he's marketable and a company wants to pair their company or product next to the kid and they can sell it, like, you know, whoop-de-doo, as I'm saying. I feel like, all right, man, you made 30, 40 grand as a kid. Like, and I don't know, we get this whole notion that, you know, and sometimes we make rules based upon the least likely on thing to happen. Like, oh, if a kid gets money, he's going to ruin them. Like, fucking kids get ruined without money. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, yes, exactly.
And I'm pretty sure the money would do much more for you with it than without it. So
Listen, and to your point, if you want somebody to do better with their money, you teach them young, but you can't teach them if they ain't got no money. So
Yeah.
I'm listen. Hey, I'm speaking from experience. No knock on, you know, the way my parents. If you knew better, you do better. But if you had money and you knew about it, guess what? You'll understand how to work with it. So yeah.
So
Hey, Poppy the door wasn't locked. Poppy just walked in on me. Lights is on me, camera. I'm waving him off, and he just
Hey, you
continued
gotta put
to
the O
talk.
behind it, man.
Papa! I want to add, so funny that we are in, you know, the most capitalistic society, right? And then there's restrictions on certain individuals and making money. This has been happening in other countries for years. When you look at Brazil and other South American countries like that, they actually have these farm systems and these farm leagues. I watched a documentary. I'm pissed I can't remember the name, but I watched a documentary probably like 6 or 7 years ago where, you know, these major soccer league organizations were going into the favelas of Brazil. They were grabbing these kids at 10, 11, 12 years old. They were paying the parents for the kids. They would then take these kids to, you know, their version of IMG. They're basically saying, hey, listen, we're going to educate your son or daughter, and we're going to send money back home, and they're going to play sports. At the age of 14, 15, they would then decide who's the one out of the crop. Then they would take these kids and literally go sell them to, this man is knocking on the door right now.
we hear you.
You need to talk to Poppy. You need to talk with Poppy.
Listen,
Hey, he's trying to
they
block
would
his
then
mom like
listen,
this. Hey,
listen, they would then go sell them to, you know, the Manchester United to the rights. That's how you see, you know, a kid that's 16 years old from Sierra Leone playing at these universities. But the dark side of what the documentary dove into was you're giving adult responsibilities to these young kids, right? And so what it talked about is there was this area in Brazil that had a huge suicide rate. The reason is you take a kid from 10, 11, 12 years old, the family's being able to survive and eat because he's off at whatever school playing. He doesn't make the cut. When they didn't make the cut, they just sent their ass back home. And so now you put grown man adult pressure on a minor. And the documentary ended up being on like the psychological effects. And so just like in the NFL, and now we're seeing at collegiate level is there's no programs, there's no training, there's no education on what's going to happen and what's starting to happen with these young individuals. So my thing is like, look, I'm all for it, but again, you need to have some form of somebody help me out with a word. Some form
either
of
supervision, guidance, some guardrails, basically.
some guardrails. Some guardrails, right? Because again, you are now taking 10, 11, 12-year-old kids and you're putting adult and grown responsibilities on.
Yeah, but I think that goes to Alex's point when Alex says that if you don't even have the experience, you don't even know what you're helping to manage. So if I don't even have no money in my pocket and I've never even gotten an endorsement check, you don't even know what happens to me to then put the pieces in place to support me. You know what I'm saying? So that's one thing. But I also was going to say, man, could you please sell the man a Malachi Tony shirt? That's what you should have did. Look, live on air, you should have sold him the shirt off your back.
You would have tried to hustle me too, but I got to holler at my friend. My friend. Hey, Tantana Moss. I used to love him.
Hey, if you would have sold him a Dime Life shirt while he was
man. Yeah, he would have hustled me too. He would have got it for the He would have saw the camera. My friend, I love you, Dime Life forever, my friend, forever.
All right, we're gonna keep it with Miami, DJ. So it sounds like there was a podcast the other day. Dana White was talking about the kickoff game against Notre Dame that was down in Miami. It sounds like he attended it down on the sidelines, and now it sounds like he's getting the screws turned to him a little bit. Miami's got their hand out looking for some money. Yeah. It sounds like Dana White has agreed to make some type of pledge.
Listen, I think that they said on that podcast that his daughter went here, right? Here's the thing. Yeah, here's the thing. Once I found out that we could pay players, we didn't have to hide, I would say, the relationships between the players, programs. I told you guys, we was going to skyrocket, right? Because now, do we have as much money as Ohio State's and teams down in the SEC? No, but here's what we do have. Everybody wants to come to Miami, right? When it comes, we talk about business and taxes in Florida, everybody wants to associate with Miami, right? So Miami has never had a huge alumni base, but we've been one of the bigger premier brands in sports. And for the most part, individuals have always come from other places, right? And so now that the door is open, we can generate as much money as possible. We don't have to hide our association. When you're bringing in top dollars, you're having the Dana Whites, the Rock Johnsons on the sideline. You know, these kids are able to hang out with them, go on yachts and do all these different things. Like we got recruits going to Prime 112 with Rick Ross. That's something that we can replicate. I mean, that's something that we can do in Miami that can't be replicated anywhere else. I always said the University of Miami had the best brotherhood. The reason was because when college ended, our relationships didn't end. Because when I was in the league in the summertime, I used to work out at the University of Miami with 25, 30 other guys. Why? Because we all live here, right? When guys go ahead and get paid, a lot of guys aren't going back to Michigan. A lot of guys aren't staying in Ohio. Guys are going where it's warm.
Right.
Listen, 2 years ago on one street, you had Antrell Rowe, myself, Jonathan Beeson, and Jonathan Vilma, and Brett Romberg. I'm talking about you go down one street, and every quarter mile you make a left, you make a right, and you're at one of these guys' house. So I think that this adds something special to Miami when it comes to recruiting, because we're going to get a lot of big name stars. We're going to get a lot of individuals that are going to want to participate and put money into the program because they're going to want to do big time business down here.
Yeah, no, I mean, at the end of the day, college football is better when Miami is basically playing sports, or not playing sports. When Miami is good, yes, thanks. When Miami's good, college football is better. Like, I enjoy getting online now, and you see the random Miami fan talking shit. These motherfuckers can't fuck with us. We back.
Don't you think the same way about like USC?
Yeah, when you
There's
have
only a couple of brands that
you
I feel that way about, but.
But like that's what makes college football when when you have guys from Florida thinking they better than everybody else, guys from Cali thinking they better than everybody else, guys from Texas thinking they're better than everybody else, and Georgia's had a run with guys that everybody gets their run of just having premier players, but when you have like legacy programs, I don't know if you call them legacy or blue bloods or whatever, when you have these programs and they have the personality of that area. I think that's what makes it fun because that's what you're trying to compete. Like I'm trying to beat you. We're trying to beat you, and I don't know. I like it. I like it's fun. Obviously Dana White can't hide his money.
Right.
Like you just sold the UFC, bro. We know you got it, and I don't know. I like it. I like talking shit to DJ. I just like when people who are supposed to be good are good. And you get these very high level competitive matchups. You know what I'm saying?
And with the CFP college football playoff open to 12 teams now, you get these runs of like last year Arizona State. Seems to be somehow they've stayed on a run. Boise State.
Yep.
Then you look at the rest of the Mountain West. You have somebody like a UNLV. Averaging 40 or 50 points a game, and they're fun to watch. So that's what I love about college football.
He might be Penn State's next head coach, Dan Mullen. We can keep on going, but I just thought
Dan Mullen was just like old buddy down in Dan Mullen coached Florida too, right?
Yeah,
Florida and he had Mississippi State in 2012.
So you got to look at
number one in the country.
You got to look into that Dan Mullen years and check the integrity there.
See, why don't you know about the integrity?
No. I'm saying Penn State does.
Hold on,
Penn State can't have another scandal.
No,
they can't have a scandal.
Hey, you know who Dan Mullen is a disciple of? He's an Urban Meyer disciple.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Winner.
If you look at whenever Florida was good,
he is a winner.
But before I got a question about the Bradford Freeman. Right, we remember him, the guy from Stanford,
rich guy from Stanford.
Yes, and the question remember that question I asked? I said, "How much control is he going to want over, the football program?" Now, what does that take Dana White, knowing that he's ran this $1 million,
Miami might give him the keys.
Yeah, if he gives
he's going for his UFC talent pool. All them DNs that don't make it to the league, heavyweight champions of the world.
If you don't make it, come on, we got a spot for you.
All right, so DJ, one of the games of the week, we have Louisville traveling to Miami Friday night. Yep. So we're not going to get a chance to talk about it tomorrow, so let's talk about it today. What are your thoughts? Miami, by the way, 13.5-point favorites over Louisville.
So I'll go ahead and give my bet predictions, right? Grab your sheet, grab your blanket. If your grandma made a quilt, and grab your cousin pissy-ass sleeping bag. Miami covers. Miami covers, but I am a little nervous because these are those type of trap games.
Come on, Alex.
These are these trap games, right? Friday night, nationally televised. Louisville is a lot better than people think. 4-1, second best defense in the conference. Night game. Are we wearing all black uniforms? Friday night. My main thing is, can the team keep the team focused?
This sounds like Alex Pittsburgh.
DJ, which is it? Sell all your personal belongings.
Thank you.
Go all in on Miami to cover the 13.5, or are we? It's a trap team.
Oh no, Miami covers. Yeah.
About
Pissy slank.
Then what do you?
Okay, we cover, but it ain't gonna you're gonna be nervous. You're gonna be nervous till the third quarter. Put it that way. You're gonna be nervous till the third quarter, right? And then we cover.
Hold on. We can't go Miami is back, gold teeth, we here, and all that. And then you jump and say,
grab your grandmama's quilt, the pissy mattress. Hold on. It's going to be a hard-fought battle.
Listen to me. We got Sebastian in the back with a gold chain on. I'm over here giving y'all props, talking about how I love Miami, and you went total opposite. You went like
I said
classic Midwesterner apple pie answer, man.
Miami covers, but anybody 13 was it 13 and a half?
13 and a half.
That's a lot of goddamn points. Miami covers. Miami covers, but you're gonna be nervous until the middle of the third quarter.
What time they play?
Probably 7:30.
7:30, yeah.
Friday night.
Oh, I'll be able to watch that then. We play at 3:30.
No,
Yeah.
Friday night.
Friday. We play
Oh.
tomorrow.
Oh.
Yeah. See, now you see what I'm saying.
Why did they play on a Friday?
Those ACC Friday night games. Remember, Florida State traveled to Virginia on a Friday night.
And what happened with them? You see what I'm saying?
Got beat, and I predicted it.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna keep moving. We got another prediction to make because there's a NFL kickoff tonight. Big AFC North battle between Alex's Pittsburgh Steelers going to the Cincinnati Bengals. Steelers favored to win, depending on what site you look at or gamble on, between 4.5 and 5.5 points. So
that's it.
He may have stole your thunder.
He ain't steal my thunder. -4.5, not a lot of points. It's the same stuff I've been telling you the whole time about this. We're gonna win. Don't get me wrong. We're gonna win. We're gonna cover the spread. I ain't even worried about that. But people are seeing exactly what I've been saying, man. We kind of like this. You know, our offense is not as dynamic as it could be if we had a number 2. Our running game isn't going how it should be going, but we're getting wins with our defense. Now, if we get a couple of pick sixes, scoop and score, that'll help the point, total. But our offense is not built for high scoring games. But we about to beat the, out of the Bengals, man. Joe Flacco. Listen, Tomlin wearing his black forces.
Yeah, I'm glad.
We on one tonight, man.
Bengals ain't got a chance.
No.
But who do you want to win?
Who do I want?
I want the Bengals to win. No, I want the Bengals to win for one reason, and I think everybody knows. Because Alex finally went out on the plank and gave his bold take. And I think this is the game. This is the game that starts that.
Louisville about to beat y'all tail. How about that?
This is the game. This is the game that starts that slide. Listen, I don't care about stats. I don't care about none of that. Listen, I don't even know what I can offer the football guys right now, but I'm going to figure it out by the time it's kickoff. And I'm like, please. Because just imagine how great it's going to be. We come Friday morning and they fucking lose. Just imagine.
I won't show up.
I want it for the show. I want it for the audience. That's it.
And the cherry on top is old man Grandpa Joe Flacco. Can we get like a 350-yard 3 touchdown?
Who do you want to win? Why do you want the Bengals to win?
Matter tomorrow.
You just entertaining yourself, Brian.
Exactly.
You know what I think? I think there's some internal rivalry here. You don't like none of my picks, man. Anytime the Steelers
like some of your picks.
No.
Where they play at?
In Cincinnati.
It's Cincinnati.
Oh,
Bengals fans, man.
The jungle. The jungle.
In the jungle.
I know why you want to lose. We beat y'all.
Yeah, well, I'm a Browns fan. Everybody beats up on the Browns.
They didn't expect to win.
I do want to see Flacco be successful. I want to see him have some success in Cincinnati before he gets the yank and
no yanks around here, man.
It's like
I think
it was horrible, man.
DJ.
I think the fact that they calling it the Unk Bowl is the most hilarious shit ever.
There aren't too many games where you have starting quarterbacks both over 40.
Hey, bro.
So this will be fun.
Whatever.
All right. We don't get to the NBA, not nearly enough, but the NBA season is ready to tip off. So interesting headline yesterday. Cooper Flagg played the last 2 preseason games for the Dallas Mavericks. You guys, Cooper Flagg, 18-year-old kid, right? Mm-hmm. 1 year at Duke. First round pick of the NBA draft, is going to start, we believe, the season as the point guard, 6'9" point guard for the Dallas Mavericks.
Yeah.
If you're Jason Kidd, give that a try or put him back at small forward where he's always been?
Keep him there. Keep the ball in his hand. He's the most talented player. He has the most upside and the most talent with the ball in his hand. And I think that he had proven that like 2 summers ago when they played out in the summer league and he played a bunch of NBA guys.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, he had a lot of success playing point guard. And I think that, you can say whatever you want to him about Duke last year. I've seen a lot of him when they played in the tournament and he was used in various ways. But at the NBA level, you want the ball, just a law of probabilities, a law of averages. If the ball is in my best player's hands, who can pass, who can shoot, who can back players down, who's the most creative, and you're going to get him more experience faster with the ball in his hand, more reps at being the guy, I would keep him there. I don't care what anybody says. When you see the guy play, he's very skilled, but he's fucking 18 years old. You feel where I'm coming from? And if you have 3, 4, 5, 6 years of just having the ball and controlling the game and distributing and cutting and just his IQ and his intelligence, I'm keeping him there. I think they tried him out for that reason, to see if it would be a good idea. But then you have to ask yourself, like, do you plan on winning now or do you plan on winning later? And with me putting him in this position, are we saying like, hey, he'll get better over time playing this? I think that's the answer, and you're betting on him long term versus him having a stronger impact on the court, but he has the ball in his hand less, and you're forcing somebody to distribute the ball to him.
It's interesting because he's surrounded by Anthony Davis and some veterans, Klay Thompson, and I'm looking at their starting lineup and I'm like, oh, this could be a playoff team, or should be a playoff team. They're only predicted to go 500 this year. So, Dallas's mindset might be the long game, stay out of that barely squeaking into the playoffs, or, get in as a 6, 7, 8 seed, which is in the NBA is kind of purgatory because you remove yourself from the NBA draft at that point. But I think for us, and to have something exciting to talk about, like, a couple times a week, Cooper Flagg at point guard would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, but he's going to be, I hate to say it, but he's going to be I want to make sure, Jackson Dart, Scatterboo, like, this sounds very racist, but you need white superstars.
He got swag. Yeah, he got swag.
But in the NBA, the white superstars,
white American superstars.
That's your point exactly. They tend to be European, right?
Yes.
And Cooper Flagg, kid grew up in Maine of all places. Like, it's an interesting story.
Yeah, so I always put a disclaimer when I feel racist when something comes on my head. So that I was like, man, this feels racist.
Oh, you got a white guy sitting here, so it can't be racist.
Yeah, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So on it is. We talk about this a lot. Like, what does it take for, like, when you start talk, like, so you want to talk about Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, when you talk about Luka, when you talk about why am I drawing a blank? Big man from Denver. Giannis, Joker.
Jokic.
Jokic. That's what I was looking for, Jokic. But when you start talking about these people, these are international superstars, and we talk about needing like a homegrown, homebred guy. As LeBron leaves, and you look to say who's the next American superstar. You can go Tatum. You can't really go Jaylen Brown because he competes with Tatum.
Ben Simmons anymore.
You can't go with Ben Simmons anymore, and all of the guys.
Ben Simmons from Australia.
Is he?
He's from Australia?
Yeah, Aussie. Yeah.
But that's the point we were making, to say, you need an American superstar, and Cooper Flagg may be it. But Cooper Flagg can ball. I don't care if you white.
We got one. He's just a little too rough around the edges for everybody.
Oh, Ant-Man.
Hey, Ant-Man is like a young boy concert.
Yeah. So what do you, Ant-Man and Ja, they both got there's a lot to be worked on, but Cooper Flagg can ball. Yeah, Cooper Flagg can ball.
My only thing about Cooper, I agree, definitely can ball. You have an advantage him being 6'9" in a way that he can post up if he need to. But I worry about when Kyrie come back, does he feel out of place because you're not? They should. I won't say they're not, but they should continue to make sure that they train him off ball. Because when Kyrie got it, hey, get open, go up your screens, and understand your role now.
But I think they're looking at the shelf life of Kyrie not being there.
Right.
That's what, like. Yeah. But I think as you start playing,
he gets injured often.
Yeah. But outside of injury, outside of just he's how is Kyrie?
Early 30s.
Yeah. But you get older, and then you start to say to yourself, like, if I can get him a bunch of reps at point guard, and he knows if Kyrie goes down to DJ's point, or if he just leaves, or if we can't re him up for a contract, or we can't afford him, now we don't want to make the same mistake with him that we made with Luka. So let me start to groom him to be our guy for the future, the guy to be in Dallas for a number of years. So I don't know. I like Cooper Flagg.
Yeah. Let's add to this too, right? Like, look at who Dallas coaches. Jason Kidd. Jason Kidd was a 6'5" point guard.
Yep.
Right? Point guard guy. And so I think Jason Kidd also understands that, like, and a huge asset for playing point guard is vision, right? So if you're gonna try this out, you have probably, besides having like a LeBron or a Magic, these guys are 6'8", 6'9", that, like, you have Jason Kidd, which was, not the normal size of a point guard. So that's who's going to be basically preparing them and training them. So I think that kind of adds to it as well.
Good point. And with that being said, thank you all for staying with us throughout the show. Thanks for the laughter. Again, back to the beginning of the show. Thanks, Will, for my editorial control. Because I messed up.
Hey, stand up, Will. Stand up, Will. Job security. Hey, Will, you do too good, dog. We can't replace you. Put that shit in there, Will. Let them know, Will.
Appreciate you, DJ.
Yeah, but I appreciate you, Will. I won't tease you today and call you cameraman. That's my dog. But hit like, subscribe, share a clip, whatever. All good things to make the show grow. But thank y'all for staying with us. Thanks, my man Tyler from back home. He came to join us. He's our live studio audience of one. He isn't on camera, but he's the first audience member in here. And so we want to shout him out. But we'll catch y'all tomorrow.
It was live here too. Papo. Don't forget about Papo.
Papo was in there, wasn't he?
Don't forget about Papo.